Abuhay, Kamustika. Welcome. How are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea on a lovely Monday morning here in Davao City, Philippines. But I realize if you're in the United States, it's early in the evening, relatively. So this is the time I usually do the live streams. Now, I do have a newsletter that people can sign up when I normally would announce that I'm doing a live stream back in the States. Our Mindoro journey. Hello there. Thanks for joining me here. And if you're in the Philippines, like I think you are, it's bright and early, and it seems like people get up early here. You know, when the roosters crow and the sun comes up around 5:30, 6 o'clock, then then they're ready to go. And kind of get the impression that the people here don't stay up all that late. Maybe I have to ask Aiza about that if they seem to be early risers here in the Philippines. I appreciate the thumbs up. Thank you for people being here. I actually started 2 minutes early. I was chomping at the bit here to do this live stream, and I'm sitting out in the front porch area at home. And there's a little bit of glare here, but I'll hopefully be able to keep up with the comments. Okay, so you wish you were here in the Philippines. Okay, Mississippi. That's a state I've not been to before, but there's been a lot of places I haven't seen while here in America. That might be a topic of a video one of these days, is about, did I do everything here in America before I retired to the Philippines, which may be 4 years or so. Am I going to look back and say, well, I wish I had seen this state and that part of the country and done something else? Because once that happens, it's not likely to happen. Although we could always go back, but sometimes my head gets spinning thinking about this retirement issue, becoming an expat. But I know it's easy to focus on some things that you're not crazy about. But today I want to talk about the positives I have noticed here since being here and living in the house that Aiza built, living under the same roof with her family. Our Mindanao jury didn't miss anything here. Scoot B. Hey, Scoot, thanks for being here this morning or this evening, wherever you are in the world. Before I forget, for people that would start to watch this live stream later on, please subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea. I'm not in the Philippines normally. We're here on vacation, trying to see what it might be like to live here, living with a family. That's gone good. I want to go over some of the positives here. Channels about finding love with a Filipina woman from the Philippines, or any woman overseas. So thank you, gentlemen, for being here so early. Like I said, I got started. It's been an exciting time for me. The trip has gone well, and so I wanted to talk about some of the positives before we get going here. Rhino Wisdom. Hey, Rhino, I almost missed you there. Thanks for joining in. Now, just to take care of a little business. Mr. E, the enigmatic one, has designed a WordPress site for this channel. It's lovebeyondthesea.wordpress.com. It's got the Facebook channel, Twitter channel, Aiza's channel, the videos here, message board, Mr. E commentary, a way to do private chat, direct chat. Very, very excellent site. I'm very proud of Mr. E for doing that. As he likes the direction of the channel, I hope you do too. I appreciate the thumbs up, and we're trying to get other people to see the value of a Filipina wife. I won't go into much detail here. Many of you know I was alone for so very long. When I say alone, I mean single. That doesn't mean I didn't have male friends. That didn't mean I didn't have acquaintances or people at work that I saw every day, but I still felt alone because I was unmarried, and so now I'm not single anymore, and so I try to share things I've learned about relationship with a Filipina on the channel. Mindoro, I want to say Mindanao. I'm sorry, that's where we are, island of Mindanao. Our Mindoro journey, what internet are you using? It's hard to find a great internet in the Philippines. This is Globe. We just had it installed here. There's a antenna right above me here, and I think the Wi-Fi is just to my right, so I'm able to be outside here, and hopefully the connection will last like it did last time. Thank you, gentlemen, for the thumbs up. I appreciate that, and everybody being here already. We use Globe, but I asked my wife yesterday, in fact, what we're talking about internet providers and the best service, and she said it. She said they're all the same. In her opinion, they're all the same. So that is one of the things that has been a bittersweet situation here for me in the Philippines. But we use Globe. I can't compare Globe to anything else. But I've been very happy with that. In fact, I'll start out with that. I jotted down some notes about things I've enjoyed, been pleasantly surprised by. The internet has been one of them. Now I can use my phone, which is usually what I use when I'm lying around or I'm in bed or in the hallway here or the living room, and I can surf as fast, I think, as I can back in the States. If I'm on Google, if I'm on one of my sports sites from Nebraska, and trying to keep up with the things I would usually keep up with if I was back home, it's fine. It's absolutely just as swift as it is back home. I guess if you call that downloading, then the downloading, my experience has been really good. It's streaming nice, no lag or buffer. Some of my friends there use PLDT. Yeah, that PLDT, I believe that's what Bill from Philippines On Demand mentioned to me. And what we have is, I guess, what we'll stick with, because like I said, the regular surfing is fine, and I've been very pleased with that. John Thomas, welcome, John. Thank you for being up this morning or using part of your evening, wherever you are, to be with us here today. The biggest positive is a lower cost of living, but inflation and currency fluctuations change that factor over time. I haven't looked at the exchange rate for a while. I think it's, since I've known my wife, it's pretty much always been 50, maybe a high of 54. So I'd say it's probably 50 to 52 right now, but things could happen and that could be changed. John, you're right about that. The lower cost of living, I should ask my wife before we come home in about 11 days, or leave for home in 11 days, what our expenses are. Maybe I'll do a cost of living. I don't know. We won't have costs for rent when we're here retired, because we're in the process of paying that off, so that when we get here, that big chunk of cost of living is something we won't have to deal with. But as far as the internet, regular use, great. As far as uploading to YouTube, on this laptop, a 5-minute video could take a couple hours. Longer video could take 3 or 4 hours. I don't quite understand why that happens, but on my phone, I just discovered yesterday, we had to clear space because I didn't have any storage space left, but I can tape a video on my phone, go to YouTube, press the camera button, and it'll go through the photos, and all you gotta do is pick one or video, and it will upload it very quickly. So then we found out I was out of storage space last night when I was taping a video. So I think Aiza fixed that. So using my phone will help me, so I'm not in the bedroom sitting there babysitting the laptop, waiting to see when stuff is done. Michael and Heidi, good morning, good evening. Thank you for being here. Bandwidth is a big problem in the Philippines. It's bearable. That was something I was curious about, and for just regular messing around, and it's excellent. It's been fine. I don't know the strength of the bandwidth or anything here, but that has not been an issue. It's just been the uploading to YouTube. Big Dog in the Philippines. Thank you, Big Dog. Now you are you live out, we're in the kind of neck of the woods where Bill lives. Is that correct? We've been in Minto a couple times. In fact, we're going to go meet with Bill again tomorrow, our Tuesday. In fact, we're going to pick him up and have him over here for dinner at the house. Big E in Cebu is in the house. If you have PLDT fiber, it's 60 MBS upload and download. We don't have that, so I can't compare it on the uploading speeds, but I mean, right now I'm trying to tape more than usual. If I was retired, I don't know how I would do more than one a day, and at that rate, it's less of a problem. But I've been trying to upload multiple ones, and that's been taking more time. Okay, check it daily. It's always that speed. That's good. I'll have to ask somebody here what we have, because I'm not aware of that. But I just was thinking that just regular internet use would be painfully slow, and it's really shocked me. Pretty much any time of day, it's fine. It's just the uploading. Big Dog in the Philippines. I'm currently in U.S. Will return in February. The weather's been very nice here. In fact, that's on my list here. So I'll talk about the weather. One of the things I dreaded about being here was I got a bad impression the first time I was here back in April and May of 2015 when I met my wife and married her. So one of the reasons we got it done in such quickness was I just met her on the first time, and we were already planning on getting married, so that's what we did. But March, April, May, summer here, they call it, and it's a step above in heat and humidity. Now, amazingly, since we've been here since, what was that, December 26th or 7th, I have not complained about the heat. I've heard other people talk about how hot it was. Maybe I'm getting used to it. I don't know. I just think it's been great. Or maybe my expectations were that it would be extremely hot, and I'm so happy that it's not. But where we are, there's a breeze, a little bit of a breeze, and I think it's just a time of year where it's not quite as hot. But this is doable. I mean, that was one of my big concerns was, am I going to come out here and just suffer in the heat like I felt I did back there the first time? But it's been fine, really. I mean, right now it's beautiful. It's only, what is it here, 8 o'clock, a little after 8 in the morning. And I remember back there in March, April and May when I was here, we'd go outside the condo at 9 a.m. The sun was shining brightly, and it was already hot, and I was sweating, and I haven't been even drinking any more water than usual. When I was here the first time, I always made sure I had water available. I mean, it scared me. It was just so hot. I thought, how am I going to survive here if I had to live here all the time? It's not bad. We've been here in June and July, which was good. We've been here in August, which was good. And I think here in December, when we got here, the weather's been the best that it's ever been. So is heat a concern for any of you guys? Because when I was younger, the heat was fine, but anymore, I kind of prefer it to be on the cool side. Being from Nebraska, winter, spring, summer, fall, I look forward to the change of seasons, and that's going to be one thing I'm not going to be able to have here, is the change in the weather. So the weather has been positive. Internet download speeds has been a positive. Another thing on the list here is the family dynamics. And these are in no particular order, but we are living here with some of our family. My wife has a lot of family, so we can't get them all in here. But we do have a 5-bedroom house, and they can really stretch the space out if they want to. Big Dog in the Philippines. I live in Elenita. Could be Elenita Heights, Elenita Heights subdivision, apparently. Michael and Heidi. No, I lived in Phoenix 27 years. The heat in the Philippines is a break. Well, that's amazing. See, here in where I'm in Nebraska, we hear about Arizona It's like, well, it might say it's 110 out there, but it's not as hot as it might be in the Midwest, kind of a dry heat or whatever that means. So, but I'll give it to you that it's very, very hot out there. It's 100 plus now for 4 months. Ooh. So, Scoot B, are you in Arizona too? 100 plus for 4 months. It must be in Arizona because even in Nebraska, 100 doesn't come around very often. But when it does, it's there. Um, so the weather might be doable because I got to realize by the time we get here, I'm going to be older. I might be 4 or 5 years older. So you really can't predict how you're going to be doing, your health, or how you hold up to the weather. But the locals sure do it well. But they're locals. Scoot B says, when I am there, you can come up in the mountains and visit in the winter, much cooler at night. Yeah, the mountains, that's we've been thinking about trying to find some land to maybe build a place, a getaway place where it's cooler. And I know Eden, which is nearby, we're going to go to Eden Nature Park in a couple of days. Spend the night there. There's no need for aircon over there. Eden Nature Park, I really like that place. Very beautiful, high up, by Mount Apo. And that's my kind of weather. I remember when we were there the first time on our honeymoon, it was like 70, 72 degrees and Aiza was cold. And I always thought 70, 72 was about ideal. And it was beautiful weather. And, we spent some time up there in higher elevations. We're going to go again. And that's the thing. I didn't know before I married her that there was such a thing as cool weather in the Philippines. But, and even late at night after 6 o'clock when it gets dark, people can you can see people wearing jackets. Used to be dry here in Phoenix area before. Now with all the idiots putting in lawns, the humidity is a lot higher. Well, that's not good when it's already 100 degrees. So as far as my checkoff list goes, I think the weather will be where you just have to bear it. In the States, when you get 3 months of winter or so, and it's ice and snow and shoveling, and I don't really mind that. When you're inside, it's not that big of a hassle, but it's not really nice weather necessarily. And so for here, the summer months, March, April, May, I just have to grit my teeth and bear it then, and just maybe go out later or go out early or something like that to deal with the heat. But the family dynamics, I want to talk about there. Big Dog in the Philippines, I was there in December. Cottage is expensive. Is that a cottage in where exactly, Big Dog, are you talking about? Cottage. I used to have one idea of cottage when I heard that word, and now here in the Philippines, cottage would be like a little place you would stay in. Eden Nature Park, they call them cottages. They're small. They look like small houses, and they look really small, but they're a lot bigger inside than they look like. Scoot B, I just bought a 3,000 meter lot across from the 2 hectare one. Prices are going up. It's still not bad. Scoot, we've been looking at some prices ourselves. I have a video I uploaded in private last night so I can get caught up. And it was about land in Eden. And I was going to have people guess the cost of that land. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of land, but these places usually, Scoot, they have to be developed. I mean, they're undeveloped, and you can always put a house there and leave a lot of the scenery in, but often there's some work. 3,000 meters, that's big. We just saw a 6,100 square meter lot, and that was big. 3,000 is real big. I think our house might be on, 300 to 390 square meters, and that seems pretty big too. But 3,000 meters is a ton, And I won't ask you what it costs, but I know people have been saying that the prices are going up, and where you live too makes a difference as far as those prices. But we're out just kind of keeping our eye on some land in the future. We did buy one small property. I think it was around 500 square meters, maybe 400. And there's a place right catty corner to it that when we slow down, we need to talk about purchasing there, because it'd be a place, Aiza's kind of had a dream to have a place where we can go and stay cool, kind of a rest home, maybe some chickens, maybe some pigs, and kind of farm vegetables, fruits, stuff like that. And so I don't know how big that one is, but I've got it on video, and 3,000 is huge. I don't know what your plans are for that, but you're going to have plenty of elbow room at 3,000 square meters. They sell lots here in small 100-meter increments, and so like a 500 square meter lot could be considered 5 individual lots of 100 square meters. Aiza was saying that in the business district, you go in the business part of town and you want some land there. She said it's like 4,000 pesos per square meter. Generally, 1,000 pesos per square meter, I guess, is a going rate. And if it's in a very, I guess, prime part of town, then it could be more than 1,000. But the business areas are the most expensive. Yeah, Scoot, I don't buy less than 400-meter lots, which would be about the size of this place, and it's plenty big. I mean, it really is. I guess being from Nebraska and being from the United States, you don't want your neighbors right on top of you. You like some space. I guess that's kind of a form of privacy, maybe, because you will always have neighbors here running around, children running around, which I like to see. Because it's they're usually laughing and playing, and it makes for a relaxing environment. It's much better than the barking dogs, or the loud blaring music, unless I actually like the song. That's a little bit different. Might have some so much cars, although there is one parked right out here, but vehicles going around, and but we're at the end of the area, so really not a whole lot of vehicle traffic, not a whole lot of people traffic either, which is nice, because it's more like a United States feel where you got some room. But it's pleasant. I like being here. It's hard to describe. It's just kind of open, relaxed, not primitive, but just relaxed environment to live in. Big Dog says that's enough for 10 families. Yeah, it would be. I mean, I have thought, there's land just to the right here. And I thought, well, who knows? Maybe someday that will be a place where we could build a place and have the rest of our family. Right now, they're spread out over this place, another place, and another place. Who knows? There's land right next door, and we know they'd be good neighbors, which is important. But it's easy to get excited, guys, about buying land here. You start thinking about a place to live, or a rest home, or a little business or something like that. Land is abundant, but finding a decent location is I think the issue that I personally have come up against. Scoot B says I just bought 600 meters on the Sayre Highway, have 40 meters directly on the highway. Yeah, that's excellent size. I think the resort we got married on wasn't even 600 meters. It was kind of small, but they had the units, they had a pool, they had the stage, They had aircon units, and business was good, but it was right in the heart of, not in the heart of town, but residential area. This lot here and peace and quiet, yeah, I'm all for some peace and quiet. As much as I like hearing music all the time, I'm going to say 390, 300 to 390. If Aiza was here, she could correct me, but she's washing clothes. So over here, where we live, everybody washes their own clothes. I haven't had to, but I would like to learn how. It's the old-fashioned way. Basin, kind of like not a bucket, but a bowl, and soap and water. And I think they clean it out in another one. And but yeah, 300 to 390. It's got to be in there somewhere. Kind of distracted by a big butterfly here that just landed in front of me here. It's I don't know what it's doing, but it's a pretty butterfly. Big dog asks how much for a 400-meter lot. We'll see if Scoot says, but it kind of depends on where it is, maybe how far away it is from some certain places, how far away from the road, how easy it is to get to. How many people live there with us, Michael and Heidi? Well, I better get some coffee to calculate that. We're talking today about positives in the Philippines. I've been here, I don't know, how long have I been here? What is today? 6, so maybe 11 or 12 days. Can that be? So I know what I don't like, but there are some things I do like, which we're talking about today, or anything you like. Now the cost of land, I don't know, might be better than it is in the States, but some of it, depending on where you are, is really expensive. So as far as Michael and Heidi, well, we've got us, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, you count children, maybe as many as an additional 6 or 8. I think they can swing around sometimes and stay in another place. There certainly are options here, since all of us are fairly close together, probably walking distance between the 3 places. And so, like, when we've had food together, which is almost every day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, 2 or 3 times a day, we'll have like 8 to 10 people there. And of course, as Aiza was talking about in Philippines on Demand's video, which I should tell you about, people can drop in anytime, friends, relatives, and that's something you just don't see in America. But he, at the end of this one, I will try to link for you in the comments section and pin it for you. It's in the last couple videos. We taped mostly Aiza taped a video with Bill of Philippines on Demand at the Gaisano Capitol Mall in Minto just a couple days ago. I think we've got a neighbor coming over for some water right now. And so he interviewed her about Good morning, how are you? He interviewed Aiza about Filipina being in America, and she was talking about how you can't just come over and in America like you can here. If we want to go see a friend of hers, we might just stop by unannounced, and that seems to be okay over here. Just a lot more, again, that I don't know what the word for it is, just the ease of living, uncomplicated. It's just a nice kind of ambiance about being here, at least in the province of the Philippines. But I'll link that video. It's about 29 minutes long, and Bill from Philippines on Demand met with us there, and I did an interview with him, and I will probably release that tomorrow as after we do this one, and it'll be about family separation in the Philippines. Family separation in the Philippines, because you're going to leave family if you come live here. So I thought, well, it kind of fits in with what we've been mulling over here, retirement. And thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for everyone here today and talking about positives in the Philippines that you think you'll experience or that you have experienced, you are experiencing. And we've been listing off some of mine. But check out that video. You can go there now if you want. Philippines on Demand. I highly recommend Bill's channel. It's very genuine. It's entertaining. It's down to earth. I don't know how you can't like it. And I've been a subscriber of his for a long time, and he's doing very well. And Philippines on Demand, very good channel there. Starting to roll through some posts. Let's get out this mouse here and see if I can get it to go back, which I can't. So, do not want to screw this up, but I got to keep up with the posts. If only I remembered how. Scoot B says, depends where you buy it. I paid $180,000 for the last one I bought by the university, going to put in apartments there. That's true. If there is plans someday, okay, scroll, then the land, you could see an opportunity to buy something if you know that there's going to be future development there. That would be something to consider when you buy some land in the Philippines. 180,000. So 200,000 would be $4,000. Hold on here. No, I'm sorry. 200,000 pesos would be $4,000. Is that right? And so then 180K would be slightly less than that. I think that's right. Yeah, Big Dog says that's not bad. Scoot, they have a few more left, but they raised the price now to like 300,000. Well, and that's it. The person that owns the property can charge whatever they want, but they're not going to make any money off of it if the price is too high. So I guess there's always room to negotiate there. Michael, how have you been watching your other videos? Yeah, I hope you can learn from that, because I'm when you're seriously considering packing up and moving thousands of miles away, you don't want to make an emotional decision. You want to either write it down on paper or keep it in your mind and go over a list of things and think about how often you're going to come back and what if this and what if that. I think it's something you really need to spend some time in. Now, I got married in 8 weeks, but I don't know. That's different. Won't go into that. But this is a decision that has caused me to ponder a lot longer. Somebody's cranking up a vehicle over there. So it's a big deal. I'm glad I don't have to decide right away. But yeah, we'll probably come here. I'm just mentally trying to be able to accept it, and I don't want to be a complainer, when I come here. Scoot B, what you have to do is look for people that need the cash and then get a deal. That is so true. This car is going to have to back up a ways before they can get out of here. That's true, and we have one piece of land that we got that very same way. In fact, the one that I haven't shown the video yet. I don't want to put them all out there at once, but we did get a really good deal on that one. I would say that might have been at least half off, because somebody will be in desperate need of the cash for a variety of reasons, for them or for a relative, and you can get land a lot cheaper if you're aware of that. So Scoot, you're dead on with this stuff. Yeah, Big Dog saw the video in the G Mall over there. We almost passed it and went to Kanina, but we were able to get in touch with Bill, and Bill's a nice guy. I interviewed him too. That will come out tomorrow at approximately this time, I think. It gets so confusing here sometimes with the time zone difference, but I think you'll like it. So it's nice to finally meet Bill and do a collaboration. Big dog is very relaxed in Davao. I like that, you know. And when I talk about or think about, a hectic lifestyle, I'm not necessarily saying that like I'm a mother with 5 kids and cleaning house and that sort of thing. In my mind, it could be just, since we don't have children, just going to work 6 days a week and coming home kind of tired and sore because I'm moving around all day, and then cleaning up, getting something to eat. Maybe you have to run an errand, and then you think, well, maybe I should work on this channel. Good morning, everybody. Got a clan coming in now, and so it's just like a what does Rike call that? The hamster wheel, just the same thing, but it's hectic, even though it's not doing a variety of things. It's just doing the same thing over and over, not having time for a lot of other things to do. Morning, precious. So you're right about that. Very relaxed. And when I'm retired, I'm not gonna have to do things. I will be able to want to do things, not be forced to or have to, and have to be at work at 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning, or in the case of the weekend, 4:30 in the morning. That's something I'm not used to. Relaxed lifestyle, but I think I could get used to it. Hi, Gian. Hi there. So Big E in Cebu, glad to see you here, Big E. That's easy to remedy. Allow anyone to come to your house unannounced in the USA. Well, I don't think my mother would like that, or I would probably not like that either. Aiza's working there, so that would just kind of be impractical. But yeah, I mean, you just get so used to having your own privacy and space, and when you're not at work, you feel like you kind of owe it to yourself to settle down and relax, and and maybe the people here have more time available, and so it's more acceptable to have somebody drop in. And for me, I guess I don't know. I prefer the USA system of give me a call, give me a text, give me an email. Might not be today, but we can plan on doing that sometime. Yeah, well, in the United States, Aiza got here back in 2016, and I picked her up at the airport. We met my mom, who was living in a townhouse we're living in now at the time. We were in an apartment, and she said, "Where are all the neighbors?" Because the streets are like desolate. I said, "Well, hon, I think they're probably all inside, unless the kids are at school. I mean, everybody's inside, and that's just the way it works here or over there." Scoot B says, in U.S., if you get older, the kids send you to a care home and never visit. Seen it too many times. Yeah, and those can be some very kind of depressing places. Yeah, Big Dog, yes, Scoot, for sure. Big E says, my grandparents died in our home, and Bob's mom lives with him. It's case by case. Yeah, it is. My mom is 86. Her sister moved to another city, and so she would be all alone, and that just happened a little while ago. But Aiza wanted her to live with us because she didn't want her to be alone. She wanted her to have company. So reluctantly, it wasn't my first choice. We were looking for other places to live, and then my mom said, well, okay. Last minute, she said, okay, you guys can live with me. And she was concerned about us arguing and stuff like that in front of her, which we have done. That's normal. We try not to, but once in a while, both of us have kind of misbehaved. But this is people do that. This is just real life. There are times like that we might rub each other the wrong way at our home, and that hasn't happened yet here, but I suppose it could. someday. And when I grew up, my grandmother lived with us, which I remember my stepfather didn't care for grandmother being there. But that's the way it is. They're from Latvia. Parents lived with the children, and so my mother's probably getting repaid for her hospitality to her mom, and so we're just getting used to that whole thing of living with parents, and so far so good. So about $3,500 USD for. Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate that. Glad everybody's here. 3,500 USD for 180 square meters. It's good to give my sister-in-law a 10% finder's fee. She hunts down these deals. Well, there you go. That's a good idea. Somebody has to have their ears open to find out about that. But that is definitely a way to do it. When somebody's really in need of the money, if you can find out about it, then I think the Filipina in your life will know about that, and she'll let you know about those opportunities. Aaron Taylor, nice to see you here, Aaron. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to miss you while we're here. Our plans kind of change now and then, and the Tagoon plans certainly change. Tomorrow is going to be different. Okay, the positives for me are cost of living and weather. That's about it after 5 years of being in and out of the country for months at a time. Cost of living certainly is going to help us, so we'd be able to live on our Social Security. Oh no. No, hon, I'm not done. It's only been 41 minutes. It's not very long. Thanks for stopping by.
I thought you were done.
Oh no. Just got started at 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock here.
Already done washing.
Well, that's because you wash clothes fast. She's already washing clothes by the time I've done this. But it's only 42 minutes in. That's nothing, Cost of living and weather. Yeah, and staying here 12 months in a row is, of course, different than other times. I had mentioned family dynamics, which I suppose might not be as important to you if you weren't living with family. But even so, even if you're not living with them, there's probably family close enough that you're going to be with them, doing things, eating, karaoke. So, hopefully you're able to get along with the family. That has been a real positive for me. I'll kind of get back into that. The internet download speeds, if you're just joining me, Aaron, those I've been pretty pleased with. Not the uploads, but the downloads have been really good. Scoot says, like the one on the highway, 600 square meters there for 600,000, which would be right? But at 1,000 pesos per square meter, 40-meter highway frontage. Guy needed a kidney transplant and dialysis. There's a 400-meter lot with 10-meter frontage down the road for $2.5 million. And so that's quite a big difference. And if you're there personally, you can assess it and say, yeah, I can see why this is more expensive. It makes me excited to put that video out about the land in Eden. It was 6,100 square meters, and I'll show it to you and let you guess in the comments what it's possibly worth and what we might have to pay for it. I don't know. I don't think they would mind. It's in a really prime area of town over there, that's for sure. But I'm still trying to wrap my mind around what a hectare is. But a hectare is 10,000 square meters. You hear people talking about hectares, that's 10,000 square meters. Scoot B, for me, the positives is no hurry, laid back. Yep, that's true. Time is a concept and not a thing to worry about. What does not get done today, we will do tomorrow. Man, that sounds good to me because I just feel like if something isn't done, I can't relax. I hate unfinished business at work. That's why I don't mind staying late, because it feels so good to say, it's done. Don't have to think about it. Don't have to worry about it. But that's a good thing. A good way to live over here is if you can not sweat stuff that isn't done. And so that's a good comment. Very good comment. Now, if I can just scroll down again. I did it with ease just a moment ago. Now I can't. So here we are. Michael and Heidi, no real struggle for me to move there. My only regret is I can't retire sooner, like tomorrow. Love it there, as long as I have aircon at night sleeping. You know, I always had aircon on. Let me click that. Okay, finally I get to see what's going on here. I got to scroll back up somehow. I don't understand. I'm using a laptop, not my computer at home, and so just getting stuff to move. Let's try this mouse. Okay, good. I got it. Michael was talking about, aircon. You know, the weather here has been really a pleasant surprise. We're not living at higher elevation or anything. And I would say most nights at some point, we just turn off the cooler that we have in the bedroom and sleep through the night just fine. And windows are closed. Start with the cooler on, then turn it off. And pleasantly surprised. I can't believe that. I mean, I spent more time in the condos the first 3 times I was here. We didn't have this house. And aircon running all the time. And most of the time over here, they don't use the coolers unless there's a lot of people here. They don't always use the fans in the living room. The door's open. You got a breeze coming in here. We might not even have the cooler on in the bedroom right now. So who would have thought? But I like that. Scoot B, Michael, you can, but it depends on how you want to live also. I want to go a bit on the comfortable side, so I will try patience. Yeah, I mean, that's another consideration when you come out here is don't necessarily try to live on 500 pesos or less, which is basically impossible. I mean, even if you had your house, your living quarters, your space paid for, you still want to do other things, especially if you want to travel, and that could get pretty tight. King of Pop MJ. Oh, thanks for being here. Just noticed your picture there. Do you live in the Philippines? Nope. Do not live in the Philippines. We're living here temporarily for about a 3-week period of time. And I did a video on my first impressions there, and today's video is trying to be more on the positive side. And there are enough things here to make me feel like, you know what, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do this. Appreciate the thumbs up. So King of Pop MJ, not yet, maybe 4 years. Of course, then I'm 4 years older, a little more broken down. Who knows? But right now, yeah, I can see living here. Scoot B, Michael, what I mean is if you want a car and eat out all the time, now live in the big city and all, like I told Tom, you bought a car 5 years ago, drove it for less than 200 miles and parked it. You getting around, if you have your own car, which is nice for convenience, if you plan on driving around a lot in it, there's repairs. Even owning your own house, there's repairs. And with cars, there's maintenance. And we rented a car, and we were driving around looking at some land, and there's a lot of rocky roads here. Where it's flat in some places, and you got these, I call them boulders, big stones, like, I don't know, the size of your fist. Some of them about the size of your head. I appreciate the thumbs up. And you're driving your car around, and when you try to avoid them, but when you go over them, man, you feel like you're doing some damage. Now, we took the rental car back. I guess there already was some damage down there that they knew about, but boy, we had some bad roads, some bad terrain we had to go over, and just not the right vehicle for that. But we kind of led down a wrong path by somebody, and I'm not going to talk about that, but really bumpy roads where we were. But car is a big expense, and like anything else, you just have to factor in what all the possible expenses are. There's so many retirement videos out there that you can learn a lot from them. I'm trying to pitch in more, I suppose, on the emotional or mental side of it than costs or where you're going to go and stuff like that. I just want to believe that I can handle it and not regret coming here to live one day. Scoot B, I worked overseas for many years and lived in a lot of places. Philippines is the place that is the best in my opinion, and that's a good endorsement, Scoot. I'm glad you said that. Making plans in the Philippines. Ha ha ha, Aaron Taylor. Well, yeah, it is different, At least I am in the States, used to writing everything down. I've got a calendar, I've got sticky notes because I don't want to forget. You got appointments that you have to make, that you have to keep. Over here, you might just show up to the doctor or the clinic, and that can take a long time. And they might send you somewhere else for some tests, and you kind of start it all over. Thank you for the thumbs up, everyone. And so you run around to the doctors. Usually you don't have things planned. I mean, which is kind of nice in a way and not nice in another way. I like to have things organized so I can kind of fit it in and get and know what else I can do that day. But you're right. In Filipinos often are thinking very far ahead, which can be good and can be bad. I'm telling my wife often, hon, I'm your husband. I should be thinking 5, 10, 20, 30 years down the road. I should be thinking about how things are going to be when I'm gone for you, because I'm the man, I'm the husband. I need to take care of you. I can't think one day at a time. It's not about worrying. It's about planning and preparation. But yeah, not so much here. Internet here in Tagum is pretty dicey. That would be frustrating for me. I'm content with the internet here in Davao. We have Globe. I don't know what kind of power it has, but it's good enough. Aaron, the uploads are really tough, but the downloads, just regular surfing, no problem at all. Okay, and then Scoot adds that a hectare is 2.41 U.S. acres. So a hectare is 10,000 square meters, or if you're used to acres, 1 hectare is 2.41 U.S. acres. Thank you, Scoot. So when you hear about, foreigners or even locals, anyone thinking about buying, 2 or 3 hectares, or, somebody's got 5 or 10 hectare or 20 hectares, that's massive. Some of these development places might get 20 or 30 hectares of land to develop. Now, depending where it is, that's costs an outright fortune. Bob, the trick is to not try to change them to be like you, but to change you to be like them. Easier to change one than millions. Ha ha. Very, very, very astute, Scoot B. Yeah, I mean, I do have to do some adapting, and I don't know. I suppose some people do it easier than others. I'm kind of set in my ways, and used to having my own way of things being in the States. But, there's times I'll look around when we're eating, or I just think, well, maybe I'll do that, or maybe I won't, because I don't want to intrude. I don't want to make somebody feel uncomfortable. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But so far, so good. And if I ever have any trouble with something, or I'm curious, or think I might have offended somebody, I just ask my wife, or next time ask her, should I do it this way? Should I do it that way? Because, there is a difference. You could offend somebody without even really being aware of it. But you're right, Scoot. Aaron Taylor weather. Remember, it's only January. Yeah, by mid-year, it'll be very hot and humid. And we probably won't be back here in the middle of the year, but this is nice. And I don't know, do they call it winter here? I suppose they do, just on the basis of Christmas, but it seems strange to hear it that way. But if I think of winter as the end of the year, early part of next year, yeah, I guess I can call it that. This is nice. I mean, it's been more like fall to a degree since we've been here than summer. That's for sure. Michael Heidi, I thought January, February, March is not as hot. It's not as hot. Even June, July, August isn't as hot. But that, March, April, May, I've heard is really hot. No, that's when we got married. It was scary hot for me, anyway. Scoot B says the hard part is the insulation. Yeah, they consider R5 to be big insulation. My new house I'm building is going to have R60 walls. Your comment just disappeared. R60 walls. Speaking about noise reduction. I'm trying to find your comment. I'm sorry, but it just disappeared. Okay, I think I found it now. Yeah, I don't know that our insulation is very good for sound. Actually, when the people are talking outside, or there's vehicles going, music, if I turn on the cooler, it kind of blocks out a lot of that sound outdoors. And it kind of just sounds like the small airplane when you're in, just that loud hum, and it can block out some noise. Hi, sweetheart.
Oh.
Yes, sweetie. What does that signal mean? We didn't talk over that one.
That means.
Oh, come on. You see here, there's 12 on board, which is good for me, 57 minutes.
The sunlight hurts my eyes.
Sunlight? I would say the church music has hurt my ears from yesterday. That was tough. Just trying to keep up. Do you know what R5 is? R5, R60 as far as insulation?
Right.
Well, Scoot was talking about that.
I can't read it.
That's okay. It's insulation for house grade. R5, R60 apparently is good. Scoot says yes, in the value are 7 degrees above the equator. So they do have a winter of sorts. Yeah, it's that time of year, but it just doesn't really feel like it.
If you go up high.
Up high? Yeah, then it's just gorgeous.
Then, above Eden, it's really cold there.
Yeah, cold sounds good most of the time over here.
We always have fog.
Fog? Yeah, that sounds good. Scoot B, if you rent a car, take a video of the car inside and out with a rental guy. Point out every chip, ding and scratch before signing for it. That's a good idea. What we did when we rented a car is they had paper, like a chart or diagram, and they had marked off, and they kind of showed us the condition of the car, and some things weren't great on it to begin with, but at least they could compare it. But they did have that method, but certainly it would be a good idea to take pictures yourself. Nothing wrong with that. We're going to be renting another one tomorrow. That's good advice. Scoot B, I like to tell people, just take 1 square meter and then think it is 10 square feet and a bit. Then every 10 square meter add 7 to the square foot. I suppose you have to, there's comparisons on Google that will be easy to see. Aaron Taylor asks, how will you accomplish R60? Very curious about that. Scoot says, I import EPS foam boards and use aircrete, no hollow blocks. There you go. I was talking about family dynamics here. I've learned I have to kind of give them space too. Yes, it's our house. And yes, they're technically living with us, but nonetheless, they're respectful of my um, privacy and space. And I need to do the same. I can't, if they don't have an air con or a cooler going, I don't feel like I can just walk in the room and turn it on. If they don't want it on, I'll turn a fan on, like if we're eating. And I'm not going to tell them not to watch TV or not to do karaoke or something like that. I mean, it's just communication about the things you have to do, and we've gotten along very well. That's one of the positives for this trip. Since we have this house, I've spent a lot more time with her family and driving around. So the children are used to me now. They were scared to death of me a year and a half ago. Now they're not, which is good, and it's gone well. It's not like we're just tolerating each other. I think it's gone. I think it's gone pretty good. Family dynamics has been good. So another plus here is I just don't feel so foreign. I don't feel so foreign that this is a foreign place to me. It's not exactly home yet, but I can look forward to coming back to the house and our things and the family. And so it is feeling more familiar, less foreign being here, even walking through the neighborhoods. Now I kind of recognize more where we are by some of the places nearby. So that's been a good feeling. Comments now. Scoot B says, best part is I can do a bamboo nipa roof, coat it with aircrete, and have an R80 roof. Well, that sounds wonderful. We may be, if we get a rest place house built, it might be, I don't know if it'd be nipa hut bamboo or something, but we'll see. We got to talk about those options. Kind of depends on where you are too. I don't know about those things. Big Dog in the Philippines, yes, they are taking care of your house. They are. They're always cleaning, and it's very organized. It's just like the way Aiza keeps our house. Nothing ever seems to get out of place. And if it does, it gets cleaned up real quick. Very clean inside right now. Always sweeping, cleaning up the dishes, taking care of stuff right away. And, that's something I like. Big E and Cebu, where did you stay in your previous trips? Just a condo. There's several different condos. And so I would stay there, and when it was time for like breakfast or lunch or dinner, and I didn't always eat with the family, and then they'd come up on a scooter and pick me up. But those are the early days. It's a big adjustment, just being here for the first time. And so they probably thought I was kind of aloof. They're going to size you up too as a foreigner, and how you're going to treat their daughter, and just if you feel like you're, I don't know, high society or something coming from America. So you can get sized up, and you just have to be patient, take your time. And I've kind of warmed up to them, and they've warmed up to me, and it's just such a new experience. And now we're living together. I can say good morning every evening, good evening, or good night. At night, we eat together. I wish more than we're comfortable speaking English, we could have more conversations, but it is what it is. But just nearby condos. But now, we have our own place, so we don't have to do that anymore or spend money on it at retirement. Scoot B, I did some tests in the desert here in Arizona, 121 outside and sun down. Heat transfer was 40-degree drop. Amazing. Yeah, Scoot says problem is there in the Philippines. No one knows how to do it. That's another reality of the situation, what you can do and what you can't. Scoot says I had to hire 4 guys and train them. Sounds like you've been busy with these building projects, Scoot. Aaron Taylor, I was just going to ask if you can get this made here in the Philippines. And we'll see. Maybe Scoot B has a video about that. He says he built all of his own equipment. It must be nice to have that kind of ability. That's a good thing. I'm looking for a few more things on my list here. Positives since being here. Aiza kind of wants me to wrap it up. Even though it's only about time is it here? Must be a little after 9 a.m. here. Is meeting Bill from Philippines On Demand, because I don't want to be here and not have any male friends. And this was just a vacation, but it was great to get together at lunch over there. We're going to have them over here for dinner tomorrow. Aiza will drive us to Mintal and over here, and then drive them back. So they'll be able to see our house. We'll have to blindfold them though, so they don't know where we live. Hope they don't mind. I'm just kidding about the blindfold, but it was nice because probably, you know, your wife wants you to get out of the house and meet with somebody, and you'll feel like it. I'm going to do a video on this soon. You need a guy to talk to about things you can relate with, you know, sports or, you know, I don't know, whatever, what's going on in the world, what's going on back in your country, talk about your relationship, you know, bounce ideas off, vent to. I think it's important to have a male friend for that. So that was very gratifying to meet Bill from Philippines On Demand. Oh, Scoot, that's all right. Scoot B does have a channel though, so you might check out his channel and see what you can find out. I think Michael's got a channel, Big E and Cebu. I know you do, because I watched one of your videos the other day when you were going through Cebu. You had an interesting talk going on, and so there may be some others here that have a channel. So something for you to check out and see if something resonates with you there. We're all different personalities, different stages of life, different places. So all of our YouTube channels are going to be unique, and I don't think you should try to copy anybody either. You know, just be yourself. Now we have another hidden comment here. Scoot says, just don't do an all expat friend thing. Learn the culture, become them. Most expats try to stick together and complain about what they don't like. Yeah, I'd like to have Filipino friends too, and not just your family. It's easy, just get comfortable and isolated with the family when you're together. But I'd like to meet with some Western guys. I think that would probably be good for me, good for my wife, and even some Filipinos. Maybe get to know some of the neighbors here better sometime. But we're only here for a few weeks, and being there full time, yeah, there's an opportunity to get to know people. But you're right, Scoot. A lot of good comments from you. I agree with you. John Thomas, Bob, it's okay. Enjoy your time there. You can have a long recap back in the United States. That will be in about, Marlon, how are you? That'll be about 11 or 12 days. Then we got to suffer through the jet lag again, because then you get all those hours. It's like a 36-hour day with the time zone difference. Big Dog in the Philippines has a channel, something to check out. Thanks for being here today, Big Dog. So true, Scoot. That's Big E. Yeah, Big E says a nonstop bitch session from the expats I met over the years. And I can complain with the best of them, you know, and I need to learn more of the Filipino way of accepting what you can't change, some more one day at a time. And maybe as I get older, that one day at a time will become more practical way of looking at things. I think you want to go out strong. You don't want to go out in a nursing home in the United States or somewhere else by yourself. You know, you want to be around family, friends. You want to find things to do that maybe are new and refreshing that you weren't able to do when you were working, you know, for decades. Soak up the local color. Yeah, it's growing on me, Big E. Wait a minute now, language, Scoot? Maybe 50 years ago or 40 years ago, these kids now, they learn English, they learn their Filipino language. There's hundreds of dialects. I wish I could. I wish my mind was a sponge. I would love to speak the language. I really would. And I'm good with words. I love words. But my brain doesn't work the same when it comes to another language. I've learned some things, Scoot, but some words, Magandang umaga, Magandang tangkali, Magandang gabi, and a few others. Salamat, Oo, Hindi. I can handle that stuff. Another positive here, while we're still on, is Aiza's driving. I mean, she did drive when I was when she had to come up here in October, and kind of worries me, of course, when she drives. Not so much for her. I mean, I care for her, but the driving here, I mean, you have to drive very defensively and aggressively at the same time. Thank you for the thumbs up very much. So she's driven a lot here, and she's got a lot more driving to do, and she's totally comfortable now. She can go out without me and drive around here, and take the kids to the park. And when it's dark out, even, I mean, she knows the area from being on scooters, but she hasn't been here most of the time for the last 3.5 years or so since she got into America. But she drives great. I'm really amazed because, I mean, I want to drive too. If I'm only 62 or 63 at retirement, it's too young to put me to pasture as far as driving goes. Although it is different here. Sometimes you just feel like you need to close your eyes and get out into traffic. There's an art form to driving here. Aiza does very well. I've got a few driving videos of her because I'm proud of her, and she knows what to do. She knows it's a different game here. She was saying to Bill the other day that you can forget about rules that you learn in America when you come here to the Philippines. It's quite a bit different. Scoot B says, and like I tell people, Rike has never had a real relationship, and he charges for his advice. It's all his opinion. He gets run out of town after some time. Davao will be his next stop. Well, how about that? Life beyond the sea and love beyond the sea. This town of 2.5 million people might not be big enough for the two of us one day. No, I'm not antagonistic. My channel, and I like Rike's channel. We've all watched it and I think learned from it, especially if we don't know anything about the Philippines, and highly informative. But mine is more of a contrast to Rike's channel because it is about married life. I can't just do what I want to do. I have to consider my wife and what's best for her. And I can't, I mean, I'm in a relationship. I don't really have a safety net. We got to work things out, and that's part of the channel will be how to get along and work things out so that we stay together. But yeah, maybe he'll actually settle down here in Davao. Don't know if he'll want to live in the provincial area though. Point with your lips. Han, will you get me that over there? No, over there. How was that? I don't know if it was in view. But that is important. Instead of going like that, you just go. One thing you notice here for sure. Big E and Cebu, it's amazing how people who fail endlessly are suddenly experts. So though he is a nice guy, I'm sure of that. And he's had his situation in the past that's made him very cautious, and that's typical for many people. You've been through a divorce. Some guys more than one. You're going to think 2 or 3 times before you get involved. But there can be a point where I'm not offering advice. Just in general, you can get a point where you analyze so much, and you get to the point where you're fearful. I'm not saying that that's his situation or anyone like him, but you can get to a point where you just can't quite pull the trigger, and you might be missing a great prize between door number 2 and stick with door number 1 instead of the next door, the one that you don't know what's behind it. But I'm sure he'll he'll be prepared. But only he knows inside what, if there's a fear factor or something. I don't know. I'm not going to tell him what to do. It's a big decision to get married in general, marry a woman from another country, and so on and so forth. So he's young enough still. I was 53 before I met Aiza. So here you have a chance to still get married, marry a younger woman. And I do have a playlist about that topic for those of you who are interested. Big E and Cebu, that's why anyone who wants real relationship perspective, I recommend Bob's channel since he dives into the topic as a married man and not a player. Well, there is a difference, big difference, because people say, well, you get married, you get tied down, but that's not all that bad. There are advantages to having the same person and investing your life in that same person, and then her family, embracing her family. There are a lot of benefits. I think that's just the way it's meant to be. One man, one woman, same woman. If she dies, you can find another one. If he dies, she can find another one. Until then, you invest your lives in each other. You have your issues. You work through them. You have your cold shoulder nights. You work through them. You might have some tempo. You work through it. You're patient. You think long term. You think selflessly. Don't overreact. Think about the other person. And so those things are the type of things I want to get into on the channel, because it really is about relationships. And there's a lot of things to talk about. Being patient. Your temper is a thing a lot of us guys need to be careful about. So I've got some videos coming up about that too. I've actually got about 210 videos at home on the computer. Need to start rolling out, need to start making them, but they're all prepared. So thank you, Big E, for the compliment. I appreciate that, and I would recommend Big E's channel, Big E in Cebu. You click on those dots over there on the right of his comments, and then one of those will take you to his channel. So I appreciate the comment. Scoot says Big E met him in person, very shy in person, kind of folded. He sits inside his place charging fools $35 an hour to give them advice. Well, it's talking about life beyond the sea. Well, to each his own. He does have excellent advice on a lot of things. None of us corner the market on everything, but relationship advice, whatever works for him. That's why I got married so quickly. Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Bye. Goodbye. Aiza and I were married in 7 weeks and 5 days from the time I met her. Now, I'm not saying that's for everybody. Maybe it was somewhat foolish or risky anyway. I figured she was the right one for me, and we would work things out. I knew we'd have issues and troubles, but that's normal. Wanted to get started, get to know her, continue to know her, and be good to her. So that's just what I try to focus on. Aaron Taylor, you can do it, Bob. Even some of the basic phrases will help you. Sounds like you got plenty of words, phrase already. They're trying to suggest, hon, that I learn to speak the language. Mm-hmm. I wish I could, sweetie. I wish I could. I wish it was that simple.
I wish you could.
Maybe I need to get one of those devices. Fazio had a video out where, I don't know, somebody ran into him with something, a Chinese girl, and he had some kind of a machine where she would talk into it and it would translate in English, and he would talk in it to her and translate to Chinese, I think it was. Maybe I need to get something like that. Really fascinating little advice that he had. That kind of makes it easier. But if I thought it was easier, I would learn all of that. So thanks for the compliments. Maybe one day I'll meet him if he's in the area. Oh. Rike. Hank Hilliam, thanks for being here, Hank. I appreciate that. Hey, Bob, what's going on? Rike offers more of the bachelor advice for those who don't want to marry. No need to talk bad about him if he isn't here to defend himself. I agree. Rike's got his
to talk about him.
Oh, they're talking about Rike,
Well,
Life Beyond the Sea. Love Beyond the Sea.
Well,
And
don't mention his name.
well, I like
Somebody
Rike's
did?
channel, and but I was just saying we have a contrast in channels, hon, as well as since you knew when I picked up the name to begin
I
with
know,
what I
but-
was doing. It was just a strategy. I was married very quickly, wife in the States, and then you have someone that's a bachelor at the time, Philippines, totally different lifestyle. So it's a contrast. That's all it is. It's not a competition. I'm not the one with 48,000 subscribers, although I do have 420 now, and I appreciate everybody here that's been a part of that because that's the most I've ever had. And in fact, I've got age groups in 5 different age groups representing. If you go to analytics, they have age groups. And I've actually got 5 from. I won't read the percentage, but there's 5 brackets. There's like 7 brackets from youngest to oldest, and I've got the middle 5. I've got some viewers in, and for the first time that I can remember, thanks for the thumbs up. I've got more subscribers watching than non-subscribers. It's always been even like 2/3 of the watch minutes were from non-subscribers, but the other day it inverted, and now most of the watch minutes are by subscribers. So that's a good thing. But yeah, bachelor, that's fine. If you want to learn about marriage,
And that's their choice.
yeah, you can choose to come to Love Beyond the Sea and watch different channels for different things.
Different perspective.
Different perspective and a completely different lifestyle and situation. That's for sure. I think we all want to be married.
Yeah, of course. Nobody wants to be alone.
I don't think, I think you're right, hon. I don't think anybody wants to be alone.
I think when you realize that when you get older, that you have regrets, and you tell to yourself, and then said to yourself that I wish I get married. I wish we have a lot of wishes.
I agree.
Being
Sweetie.
alone, it's not good. It creates some illness,
Well, and
illness.
hon, a relationship is like going to college. You don't, there's some things you want to do earlier in life to get the most benefit out of it. I've always, I used to see older people like 70 years old, 80 years old, go to college and get their degree. And I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, but to me, it's like, what is the point in getting your college degree at 80? Sure, you can say, or 75, whatever, you can say you got the degree, but I mean, and a person, and people would always tell me, well, Bob, you're a young guy, you could still get married at 60 or 70. And I'm thinking, for the first time, I mean, come on, isn't this something for the first time you want to do when you're younger in life? You want to get a job, go to college, get a job so you can work and earn money for a long time.
My question, why is it Rike's name is...
Where are you? I think the last
Right.
comment was right here. Big E in Cebu, I have an off and on 30-year experience in the Philippines. So I laugh when I hear most of those fees. Yeah, experience, Big E, teaches you a lot. I learned so much from this woman right here, because she's had her boots on the ground here before we got married. And if I need to know something, I can ask her. If she doesn't know, then I can look it up somewhere else, but she probably will know. Scoot B, about 50% of what Rike says is BS, is what he hears, and not what is real.
Oh, don't.
Okay, sweetie.
That's their opinion, so just ignore that.
Hank Hilliam,
It's not good to say bad things about a person.
Hank Hilliam says, I have a theory that every Filipino says they want their guy to learn their language, but subconsciously they don't want you to learn. What if I could, Han, what if I knew everything you guys are saying, in the car or at dinner?
It's okay.
You wouldn't mind if I knew everything everybody was saying?
I don't care.
You don't care? See, there you go. At least my wife, she says she'd be okay with that.
Oh, that is why sometimes we said, "Oh, let's speak English," and sometimes I I translate it to you so that you could understand what we're talking about.
I wish we could.
Well, I don't have to write anything.
Well, that's good. But we want our marriage to be transparent, with social media, emails, and stuff like that.
Well, email, I have at least 3 emails, and Bob can access all of those.
I can access all of her emails.
It's actually synced with
Yep.
on his computer, on his phone.
Yeah, at home on the
So-
computer, phone, I can say, well, there's my mail, but what about Aiza? And then same thing with Facebook Messenger, other social medias.
Then my phone has a password. I know it's my password.
I know her password. She knows mine. I've got all mine written down somewhere too. So, I did a video on social media transparency. We just kind of dove right in, hun, and decided we were going to get married. We're going to trust each other. We were going to be real and just dive right in. And trust is a big part of relationship. Mickey Mason, thank you for joining me here today. You're a new person to the live stream. Jump right in if you feel like it, or just take it all in. And thank you for the thumbs up and the people here today. And I like Hank to go beneath the surface level. I really like to break it down and help people understand, like in a relationship, whether it's, I don't know, dealing with tempo. That's why I did the video on tempo and broke it down and what the Filipina is trying to get you to do, where it started, the definition of it, how you should handle it, the right way to handle it, so that you don't overreact and get mad at her. So I like the video on tempo I did because it was not emotional and it was not surface level. It was really try to understand what the Filipina is doing. Yeah, Michael Corleone, thank you for joining me here today. Live streams here, Michael, I do like to have something to talk about. And, sometimes you don't have a long topic, but you hope that people like today will chime in and kind of guide the topic along. I'll talk about anything you want. Some people prefer to have it more open, and that's what we're trying to do. So I'm going to try to do more uploads topically, try to keep them to 10 minutes or less, even if I have to do more of them. And live streams here, try to keep that more conversational. I would like to do that. Of course, I need help from the viewers to do that too. Aaron Taylor, speak Messiah at home in the USA and you'll learn it faster. I know. Phil's to Phoenix, John, had a good tip. He said, take sticky notes and put the name of everything, on the refrigerator, the coffee maker, sofa, the TV, whatever, a light switch. I like that idea. Because then every day I'm looking at it. I can pronounce it, and to me it's important to see how it's spelled, because in my mind that helps me to be able to pronounce it. But I actually like that idea. Maybe one day you'll see those sticky notes all over the house. But you'll be proud of me.
Okay.
Maybe I'm trying to bite off too much at once. So I just need to start small with some basic items around the house. So that's another good idea, Aaron. I appreciate that. Big dog in the Philippines. Yes, a lot of wishes. I wish I was a little bit taller. I know Big E is big because he's like 6'6". I can't imagine how high they have to lift that umbrella when you get into that sidecar. Sometimes I end up hitting my head on that thing. So Aiza's here for a little while, which probably means I need to get off of here pretty soon. Yeah. Sticky notes, there you go. Another good idea to your good idea. I appreciate everybody here. Finish some coffee. Hun, this is beautiful weather.
It is.
We are living the good life here. We're sitting out on the porch of the house that Aiza built. The gates closed, big carport here, neighbors, those trees.
It's windy.
It's windy, but I love the sound those trees make, the leaves. It's a beautiful sound. It's kind of like ocean water. You know, when the water comes up to the shore, that's why I have on my intro at home the sound of the water. I have a rare intro that has no words, music, or no words or music. It's just the sound of the waves. Here I hear the sound of the trees. Absolutely relaxing. We should build a hammock out here, huh? Where I could just lay out in the hammock in this beautiful breeze. There's potential here. Could put something right out there under the carport. Beautiful day. No tricycle rides for Big E. I can see that being a case when you're 6'6". Sometimes somebody gets a nickname big when they're not, or tiny when they're not, but sometimes it's appropriate. Hank Hilliam, I have been learning Tagalog personally, way more resource to learn through English than for Visayan. Is that true? Easier to learn Tagalog for resources if somebody was going to look online or something?
Well, because Tagalog, I mean, Filipino, Tagalog or Filipino is the national language.
That's the national language.
So if you run into person who doesn't know how to speak Bisaya, of course, you gotta speak Tagalog because it's a national language. Well, I agree. It's better to learn Filipino language.
Maybe, sweetie, when we're home, we can get more into that with basic items and then basic words, and then maybe I'll start picking them out when I hear people talk. But you know, they talk so fast, just like we do here in America, which can make it harder to pick up the language. Big E and Cebu, I not only ride in a tricycle but drive one sometimes. Wow, now that's something we would like to see on video. We got an e-trike after hearing what Tom and Ruth had to say on e-bikes. Do you know what an e-bike is, huh? Like an electric bike, limited distance, charged up probably.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those. You gotta charge it, and then I think there's a maximum hours that you could, use it. I've seen those.
Bud Brown has a number of videos on learning Tagalog and Visayan. Bud Brown, the elder statesman of YouTube vloggers. Good, clean channel, married. I like that. Who is a coward, Big E? Thank you, Michael, for utilizing your wrench today. Just some conversation going on in the background. Yeah, we don't want to be insulting here. We want to have a clean channel. Hank says you like listening. Listen, Hun. Hank says he likes listening to Filipino music. Hun, can you tell them if I like to listen to Filipino music?
I think you do. You've been playing.
I play it at home sometimes.
Tagalog songs.
Tagalog love songs. I have no idea what they're saying, but you know, the voice of a Filipina is just angelic, and I like this. I like the music. Sometimes Aiza will use Bluetooth and turn on the music and put the little device all over the house, like if she's cooking or something, and so I get to hear music. So that's kind of like it is over here. Not so much today, but you hear a lot of music, and I do like Filipino music.
Our neighbor, the last time that you had your video was too loud.
Yeah, that was tough.
It's not all the time. It was just kind of giving very considerate because it was holiday. So, but as you noticed, no loud music.
Yeah, and the music this fellow was playing was not exactly my favorite type of music too.
Because that was holidays. People want to have some kind of joyful ambience.
Yeah, and this is the thing. If you're here for a short while, you could have a bad experience. I was here.
But it's not all the time.
It's not.
It's not. So that's why we're kind of very considerate. It's actually behind our house. So I told my dad if they're like that, and then my dad said no, it's just for today because it's holiday. Oh, okay, okay, we're just gonna, you
Good
know.
advice.
But if they're gonna keep doing it like every day, then of course we're gonna complain. I'm gonna go to barangay and let them know that we're not happy.
There you go. There's some advice for how to handle the
But
music.
yes, but since it was holiday, so it was okay.
So electric bike, so far so good. Big E says it's a trike and can carry the whole family. The most they got it for April. April, your wife, Big E. There's some good modern Filipino songs too. It's like pop, but in their language. Hank Hilliam says, I like it, man, even though I don't know what they're saying. I never thought I could appreciate that. But music is all about sound. The words can help. But when you're young, you don't even listen to words. So what's the difference if it's in a different language? You just like the way it sounds, melodies, everything, the overall impression of the song. Yeah. Thanks, Michael, for being a moderator here today. I didn't announce this. I'll start announcing it when I get back to the States, but always concerned I might oversleep or something. But over here in the Philippines, by 6:30, I almost feel like I've slept for 12 hours and I have to get up. That's another good thing. In addition to Aiza's driving, I was telling them you're driving. It's just amazing, hon. And that's an experience. It's amazing, sweetie. You're just incredible actually. Driving. And I'm thinking, well, do I have to worry about getting around here? No, you'll see. You'll see in the videos I'll put out later. Aiza's just such a skilled driver. I don't have to worry about that.
That's actually scary to drive here. It's actually very scary. But you gotta be very aggressive, alert.
And you do. Michael or Mickey Mason, sorry, no need to trash someone on another's channel. We don't want to.
Yes, I agree.
Don't want to trash anybody here. We don't want or need any drama.
I don't like that. I mean, each, everyone's channel have their own way how they do with their own channel.
That's right, hon.
Channel. So let's let them be with that. If Rike says more on a bachelor side, fine. That is his own perspective.
Yeah, that's his perspective.
Yeah, so let him do what he wants to do. And Bob is in the opposite side, then okay, that's fine.
It's a contrast.
It's just too annoying. It's very annoying when people do that.
Maybe Scoot. Maybe I'll learn. Maybe I'll learn that Visayan.
What Visayan? Bisaya?
Visaya. Hank Hilliam, the national language. So Tagalog, Filipino is national language. So be sure. So while sure, maybe Aiza's family uses Visaya, knowing Tagalog still gives you a huge advantage, like watching TV, consuming local media. I wish everything was captioned. Wouldn't that be great? If they had closed captions, and some movies are frustrating because sometimes the actors and actresses will speak in English and then they won't. And they just switch in and out, back and forth with that. Hank says, I watch a lot of Filipino TV. I notice I am able to understand more and more. It's a good feeling when you can read signs in Tagalog and follow TV shows. Yeah, that would be something. I wish I could do that one of these days. Big Dog, got to run. Thank you for being here, Big Dog.
Yeah,
Big Dog in the Philippines. He lives out there where Bill does. Taglish, yeah, that's a combination.
Tagalog English.
I got the lish part down, but the tag part not so much. But just another reminder while Aiza's joined me here before we close, Philippines On Demand did an interview with her yesterday, and I think
the other day.
Was it 2 days ago? Can't tell over here on vacation. But Aiza did a great job answering his questions about Filipino living abroad in the United States. So I'll try to get a link to this later here in the comments section, but I want to tell you about that since he did put his video up. I will put mine up tomorrow. Well, I will interview Bill, and we're going to welcome their family into our home tomorrow night as well. So one other last positive I had before we go was we went to church yesterday nearby, and it was great. I enjoyed the service so much. The only negative was the music was so loud. I'm going to have to wear earplugs if we would go there full time. The only thing I didn't like about it was the volume. So much different than church here in the United States. And it was great. I mean, we could walk there, just very loud. In fact, Hunt, the music was so loud, I think it wore me out. Yesterday, I was just run down all day, and I think it was the volume. My ears were hurting.
Well, we can sit down at the phone.
But the building is not very big, and I think that might not
It was just
help very much.
And it was just a house church.
Yeah, no, I'm not complaining, sweetheart. I'm just saying that the volume was beyond karaoke levels.
Well, because you know they believe if it's Sunday, it's a joyful day, Sunday. So everybody needs to be rejoiced.
Very positive
music.
experience, yes.
Yes.
You know, Hunt, I've never seen so many cheerful, happy people after a service. A lot of times, you know, people mosey out in the States. You know,
Yeah, and
it was very
nice.
festive. It was
That was
great. I loved
that was
it.
Bob's first time. It's actually my first time too.
In that place?
Well, I went there several times. I mean, twice or three times, but not Sunday service. I went there for to visit, visit the church. What it looks like.
This was a positive experience. So those are some of my positives from being here. And you know, we've got like what, 11 days left. I think for me personally, this will be by far the best trip I've had. Well, the first time I got married, so you can't beat that, and honeymooned here. But as far as getting more entrenched in the area and the family and just getting used to things, soaking things up, this has been a good trip for me. And so I just wanted to share some of those things with you. We've got lots of videos I've got taped. Need to unload those or release those, publish those. So you can see more of what we experienced here. I don't know when we'll come back again. Probably will be back before we retire. Who knows? But this is where Aiza wants to be. This is where she's happy. And I'm trying to see the potential, trying to give it a real chance. Scoot. Scoot B. Scoot, thanks for all your information tonight. It's Scoot. It's Scoot. Scoot B. Go ahead, take care of yourselves. I know it's getting late in the United States. Thanks for everybody still here. I think if there's anything anyone wants to ask me or talk about here, we can close it down for today. I'm just amazed we can use this laptop. Okay, sweetie, Aiza's on her way. So that means I probably need to be on my way too. So check out Bill's video, Philippines on Demand, and consider subscribing to his channel. Remember, we've got a message board, which we hope in time, a community corner over there on the WordPress site, that people can go to and talk about things, in the lifestyle lounge, the relationship lounge. The link will be in the description box, as it is in most of the videos now. And you can sign up for a newsletter. Probably won't start utilizing that again until I get back. And what the newsletter will do, will send an email to you with the date and time and the topic of the upcoming live. It'll show a recent video. It'll show a classic video. I'll put some statistics in there just to kind of give you a little idea of where the channel, stands from a analytical standpoint. And so everything is kind of in one place on that lovebeyondthesea.wordpress.com site that Mr. E so skillfully put together. Mangoes, I probably ate some. I've been eating some fruits here. Have I eaten mango, hon?
Yeah.
Okay, Michael, I would feel bad if I had to tell Michael and Heidi I didn't eat any mangoes. She's going to get proof for you, Michael, just so you think I'm not saying that to not be honest. Mickey Mason, thanks again. Have a wonderful day today. Thanks, Mickey, for watching today. I appreciate that. Here from Davao City, Philippines, in the province on a lovely Monday morning. It's about 9:43. Look at this. Michael, don't take your eyes off the camera now. Those are mangoes. And the fruit here doesn't taste like anything I can relate
It's
to.
very sweet, actually.
It is. It looks like
My
a
friend
pear.
gave this to me for free.
Free mangoes?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. What else
At
have I
least
eaten?
for 3 kilos or
3 kilos of mango?
Yeah.
What else have I eaten here for fruits? Just
Um,
mangoes?
a watermelon.
Watermelon, yeah. I had an orange.
Uh, mm,
Mangoes. What else?
sure.
I can't remember.
Papaya.
Papaya. That's
Yeah,
the
the
one.
green papaya.
The papaya. And that was in the soup?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've enjoyed
Native chicken. We have that.
native chicken. I'll
Yeah,
do a
sure.
video for you before we leave, maybe on barbecue we picked up one night, and then Aiza driving in the dark of night. She did such a good job driving. So yes, I have eaten some mangoes. Michael says if I could sneak in a luggage full of Philippine mangoes. Michael really likes those things.
I wish I could.
We couldn't bring those to U.S., could we?
No.
Customs would seize them.
Yes.
Well, Big E says enjoy your vacation. Do the live stream from the.
Not even a chicharron.
Can we do the live stream from the summit of Mount Apo next time, hon?
Well, I don't know if there's a connection there.
If there's a connection there and it's not too cold, that might go viral. That might be something to consider, Big E. Thanks for that suggestion. Okay, gentlemen, thank you for being here and sharing an hour and 46 minutes of your time and your life with us here today. And so we're going to call it a day. I enjoyed this experience. Thank you for being here. Be aware that some of you have channels you can check out here, clicking those 3 dots off to the right side. Hotspot from your phone. Boy, he really wants me up there. I might have to risk my life, but that might help the channel grow. Do that from the summit of Mount Apo. Yeah, I like seeing Mount Apo. It's an impressive sight. Not very far at all from here. So everybody, thank you for being here. I'm going to sign off now. This is Bob and Aiza from the Philippines for Love Beyond the Sea.